Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our vendor demo this morning presented by NSLT. My name is Amy and I will be your session moderator. Before we begin, we all know the few items we're going to go over, so we'll just ask that you keep your mics muted during the duration of the session to avoid distractions, but you're more than welcome to share your video. Please save your questions until the end, and you're welcome to put those questions in the chat. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Doug Lusk, and I'll hand it over to you, Doug.
Great, thank you. Hey, so welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us this morning. So I'm Doug Lusk. I run the NSLT. I also run the Business Tech Society, which is a sister program to the NSLT. So we run for business students, teaching the same thing, doing business application software programs. Same lessons like we do for the NSLT. So if you already run the NSLT, you're going to love the Business Tech Society. Okay, so today's session I thought I would do very informal and see if we can address questions that you have. I wasn't sure whether we were going to get a lot of new instructors coming in or a lot of already existing people coming in, or whether we wanted to see e-discovery and talk about that. So we're probably going to hit on a little bit of everything. Let's kind of start with some quick things as to what's changing. Actually, let's start with what's new this year with the NSLT. So we've been coming to AFB for 5 years. This is my 5th conference. A lot of you, we go way back to the very first conference I ever came to. So talking about what's new, changes this year. So last January, we stopped teaching on FileSite. That changed because they were purchased by iManage. So we now teach iManage Work 10 and no longer teach FileSite. Sanction has moved to our e-discovery certificate. So Sanction's no longer available as part of our legal technology certificate. That change happened in July when we launched our e-discovery program. We also stopped teaching on older versions of the software program. For several years, we used to allow our students to choose which version of the software programs they wanted to learn. So like we had Word 2013, Word 2016, we added Word 2019. We had it so that, I wanted students to be able to learn on what they had. What we found is students pick the versions for the wrong reasons. They look at it and go, oh, well, 2013 has 2 less lessons than 2016. So they all were learning old software and then trying to do their homework on a newer version. And it just was causing chaos. But you know how students work, that they usually are more self-sabotaging than anything. And so we kind of had to change the way we run a lot of that. It just wasn't working for so many reasons. So we decided we're only going to be teaching the most current version of the software program and won't be doing any of the older versions anymore. So that's when we came out with Time Map in August. We've switched to Time Map 6. We've cut out Time Map 4. That change has happened. What else have we updated? We have new updates to Sanction. If you're in the e-discovery program, we've updated that to the new version and quit teaching the old version of that program. Well, let me turn on my screen here and we'll kind of show the e-discovery. Let's see. Get my screen already. Okay, so we've had a few little redrafts to our website this year. First big change is a few updates to our graphics. Still the same, everything starts from our website, legaltechsociety.org. They choose if they're a student, they choose if they're a professional. mostly because we find with students, as you know, they need to be spoon fed a lot more. You need to feed them where to go, whereas professionals, they want to be, they're free range chickens. They want to go anywhere and everywhere that they want, but students need a very guided path. So that's really the only difference between student and professional. We are making it so if they accidentally click into the wrong place, once they log in, we automatically shove them back where they belong. So we've been making a lot of changes with our site that way. Another new graphics change is you'll see we have to activate bookstore codes. A lot of our bookstores this year switched over and are doing everything virtually. So as you know, everything is there. So now a lot of our codes go out virtually to the tech bookstores where we used to send them packets with instructions and the students got hard copy instructions of how to activate their codes. So now we've kind of had to spoon feed them. So if they have a bookstore code, these are the instructions for how they activate that code. Um, so Let's see. So, but don't get confused. Students get here and they're going, well, I don't have a code. And well, you don't need a code. That's just if you have a code, these are the instructions. You can always join still directly from our website by coming in and clicking join today. So that hasn't changed at all. That's still all the same. We do now have 2 certificate programs. So when they join, they decide which certificate they are pursuing. They purchase according to that. Right now, it's $120 for our legal technology certificate. It's $160 for our e-discovery certificate. Now, January 1st, we will be having a price increase. We've been announcing this for almost a year, so it's been a long time coming, but January 1st, our legal technology certificate price is increasing to 160. So that means both certificates, each one is going to be $160. We will have a discount price if they purchase both of them at the same time. That discount price will be $280. Now we don't currently, so for the rest of 2020, there is not a discount for buying both because they're kind of buying the legal tech certificate at the cheaper price. So that 180 makes it like they're buying the 120 legal tech and 160 discovery and getting that. So next year it just kind of allows that to continue. So we don't currently have a discount if they're doing both programs. Okay, so what is in each program? Let's take a look at our legal tech certificate. We currently have 22 software programs. We require that they do 12 of those. So this is what the software programs are. We are updated to the 2019 Office programs. We added Microsoft Teams. We added it in a hurry when the whole world went virtual. So it doesn't currently have all of the quizzes in. Now that things have slowed down, we're going back and writing all the quizzes. So don't worry, they're still going to have all the knowledge checks just like everything else does. We are just adding that in. We are going to be removing Skype for Business 2016 since Microsoft is kind of discontinuing it. So that's kind of going to be changing. So watch for that one going out. Probably we like to make changes between Christmas and New Year's because every school is out. So we make a lot of changes during that break. We don't currently have anything on Zoom. We probably should write some. I'll have to get with my team and see if we can fit that in. Yet we do have Teams. So that's what I teach my student is Microsoft Teams because that's what a lot of businesses are using. A lot of law offices are using Teams instead of Zoom. Schools use Zoom, but more companies use Teams. So I think that's the important thing for that is that if you're going to teach Teams, that's definitely one that I've added as a must in every one of my classes. Um, so that's been huge change. Our digital badge is still going strong. Get a lot of great feedback from students who use their digital badge. We do charge a $5 additional fee for our digital badge. That is a question that comes up a lot as to why is it not free? And we see it as, I mean, digital badges, they cost a lot of money to issue. So it was a way we could keep our fees low for all of our users if we only charge the users who want the badge. So that kept us from having to take a $5 more cost increase to all the students. And plus, we found that if students pay for it, now they're more likely to use it. They're more likely to go claim it. Our claim rate went way up once. In fact, a claim told us we have one of the highest claim rates out of all of their users. So we attest that to $5 fee. It's a very minimal fee, but it gets them serious about what it is that they're purchasing. Okay, so our e-discovery certificate launched in July. We launched and then we had some production problems. So the schools that started us this semester have had a little bit more rocky road than usual. We have been working frantically to stay ahead because as soon as we launched and we were getting ready to put the final touches on everything, our production office in London contracted COVID and they quarantined the whole office. Nobody was allowed in for weeks. Then London went into tight lockdowns of how far people could travel. And everybody in our office there was commuting from outside the city into the city. And I mean, welcome to 2020 is all I have to say about that. It has been quite the ride. So I'm glad that that is all over. We are coming along. So we had about a dozen schools try out our e-discovery certificate program this semester in classes. So far, they are loving it. All of them have run it as a 3-credit class. The e-discovery certificate has 17 hours of lecture video created by ACEDS. This certificate is in a joint effort between the NSLT and ACEDS, joint partnership. We got together with ACEDS and went, hey, you're brilliant at teaching theory. We're brilliant at teaching the how-tos. We could really create a phenomenal program if we could marry those two together somehow. So it really has come together very nicely. And I mean, I call it my Mona Lisa because it is a beautiful thing. It has been a labor of love getting it to come together. As some of you know, I've been talking about it forever, trying to get it to come. Things had been delayed, but the students are loving it. The instructors are loving it. Schools who don't have an e-discovery expert to teach the course is loving it because we provide everything you need right out of the box to run this as a class. You don't need to have an adjunct that is an expert in e-discovery, which was hard for schools to get because we provide all of the lectures, all of the contents. We walk them from intro to e-discovery all the way to advanced topics like international e-discovery and issues. I mean, things that'll be way over their head. They'll definitely be swimming to try and even grasp what a lot of those things are. But it really is phenomenal. So you can run it if you don't have an e-discovery person to teach your course, run this as an asynchronous class where they can watch all the lectures on their own. They can go through everything. We have setups to already set up to run in Canvas. We have Canvas shells already. We have Blackboard shells already for it to go. You can really just plug it in and play and run it asynchronously. So now if you're doing a live lecture, then great. Now you can have, um, now you can have your instructors can be lecturing along with it and helping make sense of it for all of your students. So let me go show you all the resources we built for our instructors. So when you come in and log in, if you don't have login code, send me an email. I'll get you a login to our website. So we have our instructor resource section. Now remember, our instructor resource session has our law office tech applications and also our e-discovery. So now there's the two courses. So you come in and pick which course you're wanting the resources for. We trying not to confuse you as much as possible. So you come in and go e-discovery technology. We have built syllabi for 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 10 weeks, 12 weeks, 14 weeks. We tried to make it real easy for you to just grab the one that fits best for you and you can go. Instructions for what you need to give to the bookstore. We created a bookstore order instructions. On here it has publisher name, it has the SKU numbers, it does not have an ISBN is one thing we do not have because we are not a published book. We're just a website access. So it's hard for us to get an ISBN number. We're not the same as an ebook. Now, some of the stores like Follett, Barnes and Noble, we've been working with them for years. Sometimes they have gone in and added their own individual ISBN numbers, but it varies from location to location. So it's not a number that I can give you that they're easily going to plug in and play. Now, the SKU number is pretty universal. So that's an easy one. Go in and say, this is the product UPC. This is how it goes. Now, if your location is a Follett store, we're already in with their digital fulfillment program. Your students could walk in today and go and purchase. It isn't something that they've got to get set up ahead of time. They don't have to worry about purchase orders. We're never going to be out of stock. You don't have to worry about any of those issues when it comes to that. So this is a nice little reference sheet for you to get up and running with your bookstore. Okay, course documents. So here we have the ACIDS module, e-discovery terminology. We put together a great terminology sheet, glossary that you could give to them. We've got various handouts, module completion estimation times. This is what it's taken my students on average to go through all of our lessons and cover things. So that's in there as you start planning things out. Great question from Marie. Is the cost the same when you go through the bookstore? No, the books, well, okay, it varies. We sell wholesale to students, which means the bookstore is buying it from us at the same $160 price. Some of the bookstores don't add a markup. Some do add a markup. If you're with Follett and Barnes and Noble, they tend to add about a $45 markup onto the cost. So that's something to be aware of when you go through that way. Now, I just tell my students in my syllabus, I just tell them, hey, if you are purchasing out of pocket, go buy it from the website. It's going to be the cheapest place to go. If you want to use your financial aid vouchers, it's available at the bookstore. Go in and buy it from the bookstore. Students tend to love that. I don't ever hear any complaints about the bookstore markup price because if they're paying out of pocket, that they're just going to go buy it from the website. We do tend to see about 90% of our students purchase directly from our website there. Okay, so the Blackboard course files are in here. The Canvas course file, here's a link to our package for the 14. If you go into Canvas Commons, you will find all of our different setups. We do have a different course in Canvas, not for Blackboard. Blackboard, we just have the 14-week. You'll have to adjust it yourself. But in Canvas, we do have a 6-week, an 8, a twin, a 12, a 14. So you can just go into Canvas Commons and import it right into your class from there. You can tweak and adjust and move things around. Don't feel like you are stuck to using the Canvas shell exactly the way we built it. We just tried to give you all the basics you would need to go. It has a midterm exam written. It's got a final exam written. It has weekly discussion posts, articles to read. Everything's all set in there. Hey, instructions for purchasing. We put all that right on there. So okay, let me jump some questions real quick. So, okay, D2L, you can take a Blackboard import file and you can load it right up into D2L. I have had students or I've had schools tell me it works smoothly, didn't have any issues. I don't know so much about Moodle or Brightspace because neither of them have a developer website. So Blackboard has a developer website, so I can, they give me access to Blackboard so I can go in and write courses and create it. I don't have that for Moodle. Now, if someone's willing to give me a sandbox to build in, I'm happy to to build the course and create shells for Moodle or Brightspace. I just don't have access to that technology. So I'm sorry. I just don't have anything there. Same with Sakai. Now you can probably ask your e-learning team if they can take a Blackboard course and load it into Sakai and Moodle just like they can to D2L. Sometimes these companies make very standard readable formats. It's like if you had a text file and you want to open it in Word or open it in WordPerfect or open it in Notepad, it can read the text file. So kind of the same thing. A lot of these learning management software programs, they can read some of the same basic files. So check into that before you start reinventing the wheel. Now, my team is working on a PDF version of our Canvas shells. So if you can't import our file, you at least have everything in PDF form and you can copy and paste and rebuild it yourself. So that's hopefully going to be out in the next week or so. We are working on that frantically, trying to get that all set. It's a lot more work than we ever thought it would be. We thought, oh, this will be easy. You just print all of the pages. Yeah, it just doesn't. Yeah. So writing myself a note to get that going and send the notes when it's completed. Okay, so man, time is flying. We are down to 7 minutes left in our session. So sorry, I'm going a mile a minute, but we're just trying to cram so much in. Okay, one thing as instructors, you will notice when you go into the learning portal, you will have a lot more learning paths than your students do. That's because as an instructor, you have access to both of our certificate programs. You will have access to our e-discovery certificate and also our legal technology certificate. Do not get confused when you are assigning your lessons to students. Just because you can see it doesn't mean your students can. We had some issues where some schools thought, hey, disco sounds great, I'm going to give that to my legal tech my legal technology certificate students. And then I got 50 emails from every individual student saying, I can't find my lessons. So again, make sure you're referring back to our website and you're looking at what's available in each certificate program when you issue those, because just because you see it in the portal doesn't mean your students do. But also, it's in your portal. You can go see what all of the lessons look like. You want to go check out the fantastic ACEDS videos? They're all right there, ready for you to go in and explore. The disco lessons are amazing. Not just saying it because I wrote it myself, but they're awesome. Everlaw is great. I mean, you can go and explore this whole certificate. You can get your certificate and have that to brag to your students about. You can do all of that. It's already available to you. Just waiting for you to pop in and explore. Uh, Okay, so let's take some questions from the floor. We got 5 minutes left. Um, yeah. So great comment from Harry. Thank you, Harry. He is his school is using the e-discovery class, and Harry is taking it as a student for his adjunct is teaching it. And yeah, it's great that everything is very comprehensive, almost to the point of too comprehensive. We got so ambitious to cram so much into it. And I got to be e-discovery geek there for a while and just kind of geek out. Um, Let's see. What do you recommend if we want to have students complete both certificates in a single semester? Well, the first thing is prepare them for the $280 cost. That's a big thing. They need to kind of know what they're getting into when they go take that. I am teaching it both certificates together in a 12-week class for UC Berkeley. It is going to be intense. You have to have your students in that mentality when they start that semester. It is a lot. So now some of our programs count towards both certificates. Case map is in both. Time map is in both. Nope, sorry. Concordance. Concordance is in both. So concordance, case map, time map. So if you're covering those three, that helps you have a lower number that you've got to get through in a semester. So make those three your must do's, and then you'll be able to kind of lay a lot of that out. It is going to be hard. In 12 weeks, we got to get through 12 law office technology programs and all the ACED lessons and 9 e-discovery software programs. So it's a lot. But Berkeley went, hey, we want to run a hard program. We want to run a hard class. And so I went, great, we're going to do it. So that will be something that we're gonna push and go. I do have a syllabus for what that looks like. Send me an email if you're wanting to get that going. Gail Dorn, your instructor's already contacted me. I know you are starting that next semester. I've already sent a copy of my syllabus to your instructor, and we've already talked about what that's going to look like. My students, their biggest complaint at the end of my law office technology class is this class is a lot of work. So if you're trying to do both certificates, you better have your instructor prepared that they are going to get beat up by all of the students when it comes to teacher evaluation time. You need to be prepared for that. I have a very thick skin, but easily a third of the negative comments on my instructor resources is this is too much homework for class. So I mean it takes a lot. So that's always a struggle to get through the material. So if you think, hey, we're gonna do both, be prepared for a battle because it's gonna be some serious intense stuff trying to do both in one class. Students can do it on their own. So that's always something that you can, let them know if you don't have an e-discovery class. This was designed that students could go and get the certificate by themselves. So they can just pop in, run through all of the lessons on their own, get their certificate, add that to the resume. Doesn't require that they have an instructor, doesn't require that your school adopt the program. So that's real easy to go.
Doug, can I ask you one question?
Yes, pop on in. Thanks.
How are the meetings with vendors going? Like, I'm having trouble understanding how to do that. Is it working? What do you suggest?
Meetings with vendors, I would suggest that you just send an email and set up a time to meet with them individually because it's kind of like a message board. So this time with vendors is just you can write in and you can write them chats on their message board. and then we pop in and we answer questions. It's not my favorite. It is nowhere near the same as having live conversations. But if you've ever had an email from me, or if you
Oh,
check
yeah.
the listserv, in my email signature is a link to where you can set up appointments with me. And so
Okay.
you can just drop something right into my calendar. You can see all my open slots, see my dates, pick something that works for you, and set up a time, and we can sit and chat and answer any questions, everything that you've got.
No, this was great. It was really, really helpful. I'm excited about the e-discovery too.
Yeah.
Doug,
you're
can I
gonna
ask a quick
love it.
question?
Yes, pop on in.
So sorry about not being on camera, but it's early
That's
here.
all right.
So my question is this, if we were to get the both of them and like do that through our program, would we be able to stack them so we could have them take, we have a legal tech
Mhm.
apps and advanced legal tech apps, and then the next year in their second year of their program, they could take the e-discovery?
Absolutely. So you can do it two ways. You can purchase one certificate at a time, which is kind of how we designed it. That's why they're independent of each other. Is that way, if year one they are doing Law Office Technology, now they come back next year and they're doing e-discovery course, they can buy them separate. They're not having to put that money out of pocket all up front. They can wait until they get to that class. It is also another reason why we run 1 year at memberships. So you have a year from the date that you joined. So to get the 280 discount, they'll have to buy them both at the same time, which means the 1 year time is starting at the same. But if they are taking one class fall semester, the next class spring semester, they're going to be perfectly fine. Even allows for if they fail and now they got to take something during the summer. So it would work for either one of those. But if you're going to spread it out across multiple years, I would just let them buy it separate and just have it do that way. Then it easily will run. Yeah.
Okay, but if we decide we're gonna do it as an institution and get the 2 years for them,
Okay.
that, or sorry, not the 2 years, sorry, the double
Right, the
certificates,
both
then
certificates.
we have to be able to offer the classes within 1 year of
That's
the date that they purchase the certificates.
To get the discounted price, yes, they do have to. They'll both be activated at the same time. So you will want to then stack your semester. So, it'd be one of those. The good thing for you is you're only putting out the funds as they needed, but downfall is you don't get the bulk, or you don't get the discount for buying both certificates at the same time.
Okay. All right,
Yeah,
thank you.
so
That was helpful.
definitely a challenge there. Okay. Any other questions?
Hi, Doug. This is Donna Drum. Hi, everyone.
Hi, Donna.
I'm trying to think about the most amount of students in our school that we can take advantage of this. I'm at Mercy College in Dobbs Ferry. Do you have any criminal justice programs and criminal justice students, like as far as an interdisciplinary?
So we do have some schools that have some of those kind of, I call them crossover students, for lack of a better word. So we do have a lot of those interdisciplinary students that take the class, because there's a lot of great basics. I mean, we teach Word, Excel, Outlook, PowerPoint, so a lot of great Office ones that are just legal general good to know. They're going to use them everywhere. For a lot of those criminal justice, they have classes on trial, because they learn about being a witness at trial and things like that. So teaching trial director fits in very well. They talk about, trying to think of what careers they go into, but I mean, there's a big bulk of the classes that will pertain no matter where they're headed in law. We even get schools use it where they get half the classes business students that aren't going into paralegal, but they're there to get all of the Word and Excel and Outlook and PowerPoint and Adobe and kind of all of the basic Office ones there. So yeah. I don't know if that kind of helps, but it's kind of the best we've got. We are very law office specific. That was the niche we were trying to fill. There was a lot of classes for if you had other basics, but yeah.
All right, thank you so much, Doug. Now we just invite everyone to go into the virtual exhibit hall, visit with any other vendors, and then we have our next session at 12:30.
Wonderful. Okay, if you got follow-up questions, go in and leave them on my virtual, and I'll try and follow up from there or shoot me an email. Thanks,
Thank you.
everybody. Bye.